Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, welcome back, listeners, to Two Boys and a Mic, to episode 3. How have you been, Nudge?
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you know that I'm on holidays?
Yeah, I know, you lucky bugger. I wish I was on holiday in a couple of days, but I'm not. I have 2 more weeks to go. That's okay. Did you notice we have more people who've watched episode 1 than we have who watched episode 2? Yeah. So we've got 62 views now on episode 1, 27 on episode.
Probably the title.
It might be.
The title is pretty epic.
That is a pretty epic title. You're going to have to come up with epic titles every single week.
Yeah, we need some clickbait one like that one.
It was super clickbait. It worked so well. But we've got lots of people listening. Like I'm pretty pleased. I've got some feedback from some people.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. They really liked episode 1. So we should do whatever. Well, I haven't talked about 2 yet, but yeah. Someone did listen to episode 2 and said that they think we should stick to funny topics like we did in episode 1. So we'll do what we do. Yeah. But I like our first segment, which is coming up. Oh yeah.
Listeners, no offense, but I'm doing this for me. So I'm glad you're listening, but yeah.
I love how you also called them valued listeners.
Yeah, because on my chat it says you're a valued customer. I don't know why you're a valued customer.
You are, because you listen to us and probably could have other things you want to listen to, but thank you.
You didn't change your username, did you, when you bought your laptop?
Hey? I never changed my username.
Yeah, because that's what it comes as default, valued customer.
Excellent.
Oh.
I should probably change that. I'm going to go change that right now.
Can you?
I think I can. Hang on, let's have a look.
You're connected.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. We'll just have a valued customer. That's me. I'm being... Hello,
I expecting money.
You do? Hi. Hang on, we're talking on YouTube? That's why I'm valued customer, right?
No. It's your, Windows.
Oh, Windows. Oh, yeah, no, I've never...
When you buy Metabox, that's what it says.
Yeah, I'm not going to give Microsoft the joy of having my name. That's ridiculous.
Just do a nickname. Just call it like Windows sucks if you don't like Windows.
And to Microsoft, we really do like you.
Yeah.
I should change it. I'll do that. I will change it. So we should do our first segment, which we did. We started last week's episode, which was random thought. So Nudge's random thought. And what is your random thought this week, Nudge?
My random thought is about parallel universes, because we've been watching a lot of Big Bang on Netflix.
That's a hella deep topic.
Yeah.
But go, tell us about what you've been thinking. What is your random thought for this week?
I've been thinking, like, Big Bang is a lot of superhero references and stuff, and parallel universe.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like in Family Guy, have you seen the episode where they go to all these different universes? Like one of them is like the dogs are the humans and the humans are the dogs and stuff.
Oh, in like this...
In Family Guy, do you remember that?
Yeah, the Stewie and Brian adventure episode.
Yeah. So, like, what happens if there's a parallel universe where everyone, like, roots for the villain instead of the superhero?
Yeah.
So, like, everyone wants the villain to win. But, like, if that's the case, that means everyone likes destruction and havoc.
Yeah.
But then if that's the case, the world would be destroyed.
But that's why there's... Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, because they don't want the superhero to stop the villain from world domination and chaos and stuff. But then, if destruction is supported, there'd be no comics or movies, because comics and movies is a form of creation and creativity.
Well, that's right. Or video games, my friend.
Yeah.
Video game. What
Yeah.
about video games?
Yeah, that's right. And then,
Yeah.
people even have babies because, making babies is creating life. So, instead of people, making love, would that be the same thing as just, they just slap each other for, 5 minutes? And then, it's normally the guy who finishes first, so then, the guy gets knocked out and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm done. And then how's that for you? He's like, yeah, that was all right.
Oh, my God. That's deep. That's deep, Nudge. That's very deep. I like your random thought for this week. Ladies and gentlemen, valued listeners, let us know what you think in the comment section, which we're still not quite done yet, but I'm hoping that will change. But, put it in the comment section. What did you think of Nudge's thought of the week? Parallel universes, what are your thoughts? Personally, I think there's got to be a universe out there like that. If parallel universes are
probably gone.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably blew itself up because some massive overlord took over and everyone was like, we love you, overlord. You cause so much carnage and chaos. Let's blow it up. And then...
Yeah. But would they say that? Wouldn't they say, we hate you? Because,
Well, maybe they would. I don't know. I think in a world like that, I imagine lots of people with, punk-style haircuts. You've got, the mohawks and the spiky mohawks and... weird stuff with their hair and nipple piercings everywhere and tattoos and everyone's wearing tank tops and wife beaters and ripped shorts and, chain links. They're all mental. And so I don't know if they would be. I think they'd be like, overlord, overlord, overlord.
What about a Deadpool character in this kind of universe? Would Deadpool then be like a person in a suit who, usually does bad things? But then occasionally would do good things because he's got a conscience, or could be gay. I don't want to be sexist, but
Yeah, well, there's Gwenpool as well, man. So
Deadpool would be lawyer man or something.
My client did nothing wrong. He was just patting a dog, and then this guy came over and ripped the dog apart. That's what it would be. Yeah, no, Deadpool being a lawyer, that would be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I don't know, man. Yeah, I guarantee there is a world out there, a parallel universe where it probably is gone, or it's a
guarantee.
dead world.
Big call. Yeah. I never guaranteed anything. It's just a thought.
Well, you do come from the underworld, dude.
Do I?
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah, that's what everybody's. That's one thing that everyone's liking is the fact that you come from the underworld. I even had some people ask me did you really meet him under a bridge? And I was like, yeah. I thought he was going to eat me. Pretty friends. Pretty simple bloody, origin story. He just
bought my friendship.
I bought your friendship with chocolate. It was all fine. Oh, maybe I didn't mention that part. So yes, Nudge met me under a bridge. Yeah. He was very angry. He wanted to eat me. I said, dude, I got money. Let's go buy some chocolate. And I think I bought you a block of Cadbury or something, didn't I?
Yeah, I was went to collect tolls, ended up selling friendship.
And it's been happy ever since, ladies, loyal listeners. It's been happy ever since. What's going on? Wow.
Yeah, bit of typing.
It is, but it's 9/11 today.
Yeah, I know, I noticed.
What were you doing when it was 9/11? Man, that was so long ago. Far out.
Yeah, I remember I was playing Counter-Strike, and I was on the
were you?
Yeah, I was on the counter-terrorist team, and all these guys in chat, someone blew up the Twin Towers and stuff, and I thought they were just role-playing.
Oh, what? So they were saying it in chat?
Chat? Yeah, because it just happened while I was playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought, they did it in all chat, so the terrorist team was saying it, so I thought they were just role-playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I didn't think of anything. And the next day, my dad goes, did you see the news? I was like, oh, crap, that was real.
Well, I remember where I was. It was my mum's a nurse, so she was getting up early to go out to work.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. She burst into my room and said, we're going to war. We're going to war. And I was like, what the hell? So I got up and I ran out and went out into the lounge room and there it was on TV and the two towers, the World Trade Center, one of them was smoking. And then I think I was up so early, I think like a couple minutes later, the second plane went in. And
happened.
Yeah. And I just remember I was just lying in no, I just stayed home all day. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it would have been unique.
Yeah, well, I was TAFE at that point.
Yeah. So like,
but I went to TAFE, yeah. And I just cut class and I watched it all day. But I found out later on that like half our class didn't go in because of what happened. It was crazy. Yeah. So have you been watching any cool video series or anything lately, man?
Yeah, so I think it was last night or the night before, I found this channel. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole series. And I was just like, oh, what's this? And it just kind of, it's basically like, when you procrastinate and you go on Wikipedia and you look up something and then you end up like, you start looking up like, I don't know, Captain America, and then you end up like on the origin of chopsticks, So this guy kind of, I'm guessing he did kind of like that, and then he found a topic that kind of caught his interest and he kind of went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I watched this one yesterday on this thing called Final Fantasy House. Have you heard of this?
No, what is Final Fantasy House?
I thought it just had something to do, it was about like Final Fantasy or something, but...
Yeah, it's not?
Yeah, it's about these weirdos who pretend to be characters from Final Fantasy. And it's actually...
Oh, for real?
They call themselves soulbound or soulbinders, where they inherit the spirit of a game, and they really think that that's them.
Wow.
Yeah, and they do all this crazy stuff.
That's taking cosplay to a new level, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Are you gonna put that link in the description?
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description. It was kind of creepy, that one. And then there's ones on like these there were like these weird topics you've never heard about. Maybe you have, but like, and then some of them are really long, some of them are really short. But yeah, for the most part, they're pretty interesting. You just.
I'm definitely gonna watch that. I like that kind of stuff. I like stuff like that. Man, that. See, I fall into those holes heaps, especially because I'm a Warhammer player. So like the lore for Warhammer is huge. It's over 30 years old, and they keep adding to it. So like, I'll go to look up some fact about. One of the Primarchs, one of the main heroes of the different Space Marine chapters. If you know Warhammer, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, start looking at your own rabbit hole. There's a rabbit hole. But yeah,
take the red pill.
Take the red pill and off you go down the Warhammer hole. But yeah, no, I've gotten lost for hours down those. I think the worst one I ever did on YouTube was when the creepy clowns were around. Do you remember that?
Oh, when people posed as the creepy clowns.
Yeah. I went down like a massive one of all the different sightings all over the world. And then I think I rested on some South American, Argentinian game show or TV show, reality show, where they had these creepy clowns, and they had like these prosthetic bodies. And so these people would come around a corner, and one of the creepy clowns would take a hammer and like smash the prosthetic doll on the head and explode. And the people would freak. They would bolt like crazy. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I think I remember that. That was a hole that lasted probably like an hour or something. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. When was that? When did this happen?
Well, it was right when the creepy clowns were popular. So what was that? That was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Can't remember. When were creepy clowns popular? I'm looking it up. I might fall down a hole.
We're not going to see him back now. That's the end of the show.
You're going to have to take over. I'm looking. When did the creepy clowns come to town? Let's Google that. Oh, no, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2016.
Yeah.
You reckon? Creepy clown sightings, 2016. Okay, so like 3 years ago. Yeah, but the video I saw was like, I found out later it was some sort of Argentinian, South American game show thing. I'm looking that up now.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just random people, it was for a show.
Yeah, it was for a show. They just scared random people, but like
Yeah.
they were actors in, and they were doing it deliberately. South American creepy. Right. Apparently people like it when I do this, so I'm doing it.
Out of the 60 viewers, 3 have said, I like it.
I like it when Oscar's looking around.
Try listening to him trying to trawl through the internet and discover the information.
Hang on. I'm gonna find it now. You look, and I'm gonna. Oh, there it is. Killer Clowns. Beat up. Killer Clowns 2 returns for a short.
So, what do you think about like this censorship stuff? For because kids are like exposed to everything these days. They're gonna get curious, some of them, and they're gonna look it up. And you know how we had the whole like Momo thing, like.
Oh yeah,
months back, and what you know?
I feel like kids probably do get exposed to a little bit too much, to be honest. If I'm honest, like they can just, they just have to take a lot more than they ever used to. There's a lot more out there that they can see, but like they're not scared by stuff either. Like I was terrified of things like, Jason Voorhees and other stuff.
And you couldn't, when we were little, we couldn't just go look stuff up like that,
No, that's the thing, like the internet has given them a bit of a way to get into all this without having to do much. So
yeah, like your family, friends, and like relatives were your own real source of information for that kind of stuff. Like they'll tell you scary stories and
which was scary in its own way. Like my dad terrified the crap out of me a lot of the time. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do think though that like we do shelter on that thing. Like as much as they have access to everything, I do feel like a lot of parents these days, and please don't take me wrong when you're listening to this, viewers. But
political here.
But no, like seriously, I think kids these days are a little bit too sheltered. Trying to stop them from looking at this sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of part of the world now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And it's a bit like kids need to be resilient. Like I was brought up to be resilient, and I feel like I'm pretty resilient. So, and I look at a lot of kids and they're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what else have you been looking at this week, Mr. Nudge?
Just saw that Minecraft's on top again. A lot of streamers and YouTubers, they're like switching over because since PewDiePie started playing it completely spiked in popularity. You know how they got that new patch coming out soon with the bees and stuff as well, and there's a lot of hype around it.
Yeah. No, look, Minecraft is a great game. I've always had respect for Minecraft. I think it's like an online. It's like the best online building game ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those games where it ticks all the right boxes. Like it's all ages. Parents aren't going to say no unless they're just anti-gaming in general. But like there's no violence in it.
No, that's right.
There's no blood or gore.
Yeah, even with the like add-ons and modifications to the Java version, it's pretty tame.
And I think that's the other.
Yeah. No. You go.
No, I was just going to say that's the other thing. Like it's kind of like traditional PC gaming. Like the whole modding community is huge in Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's sort of like it's like a giant Lego set. Like you can go on to play games, or you can go on to build yourself a Death Star or a Star Destroyer or a Millennium Falcon. I mean, some of the things I've seen are insane.
Yeah, I sort of created like a working computer using redstone. It was crazy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's
that's
enormous.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing I've ever seen in it, which I think it was the same team, so it was like a team of guys who got together, but they built Hogwarts, like a full replica of Hogwarts, and then they went and did the White Tower, like Minas Tirith, in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And that was insane, the amount of detail they went to in that.
Yeah.
I was blown away. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen the WoW one, the Orgrimmar and Stormwind one. That was pretty insane as well.
Oh wow, I've never seen that. I'll have to have a look at that. But yeah, see, that's part of the reason I've never been like. I totally respect it, and as I say, I use it. I've used it at my work to demonstrate things because it is this sort of like perfect tool if you want to do something quickly. But I've never gotten into it as a gamer because I'm just so worried I'll be massively addicted.
Really?
So, yeah. Yeah.
I could never get into it. Like, I always heard of it, and when it first came out, and I tried it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past the graphics. I was just like, what the hell is this? It's like all pixelated and cubed, and what am I doing? Just punching stuff, and I was really confused. But recently I liked it.
Yeah, right, okay. Well, I like it, but it has an addictive nature. Once you start building something, you're sort of like, oh, just spend another 20 minutes, and then you go back and it's like 5.5 hours.
You get like lost in this world. They're just trying to build something.
Actually, speaking of which, I saw a guy, he ran a D&D campaign of Minecraft, which was really, really awesome.
Oh, how did he do that?
So essentially, he built the world in Minecraft and he built all the dungeons, and then essentially he took I think he modded it. So he modded it so like there were creepers or what are they called? The grey blob things in it that fly around.
The grey blob things.
Yeah, and they go, ooh, they make a really creepy sound. Yeah, ghasts.
Yeah.
He modded the ghast to look like the very famous D&D villain, the Mind Flayer, or the Mind Flayer, which is a giant ball with an eye, massive tentacles. So he basically just reskinned it. But yeah, like they had to fight them, and he increased their hit points and all this kind of stuff. It was really insane.
Wow.
Which actually brings me to, I think, our next thing I wanted to talk about, which is, as I said to our loyal listeners a couple of weeks ago, Nudge and I both play D&D together. We're in a little group. I am the Dungeon Master. And as the Dungeon Master, it's sort of our job to make the game. So for anybody who's never played it, very brief explanation. The brief explanation goes like this. D&D is a role-playing game. It's run by a person called a Dungeon Master. The Dungeon Master basically makes up the adventure, and then he has characters who play, they're the players, and then it's the DM's job to basically set the mood and set the atmosphere for the game. And so I've been using music to help with our combat scenes and some of our encounters with the characters I've created for the game. And you guys were sort of asking me what game music I was using, and it was all from The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking, like, video game music is a really powerful part of the gaming experience, I think. And I was going over, like, some of my favourite ones in my mind.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just thought, well, what do you think? Like, what are your favorite pieces of music from favorite games? Like, what's a game that's used the music to hook you or has helped hook you into the game?
Well, the music, the actual, just like the music alone never really hooked me. It's normally the whole experience, but like.
I agree with that. But it's that thing. Like, there's sometimes you play a game and the music, music is part of it, and it's actually kind of crap, and it does sort of draw you out of the game. So I was sort of just wondering, are there any games that you've played as part of that experience and thought, that music soundtrack is really cool. So, like, what are some of your favorites?
Just like kind of the first ones that kind of stood out to me when I actually kind of stopped and go, wow, this music's awesome, is Diablo 1 and Final Fantasy 7.
Oh yeah. Oh man, how good is Final Fantasy 7? And see, Final Fantasy 7 is a really good example because it started out as sort of like digitized, synthesized music.
Yeah, it was all MIDI back then. It was all MIDI.
Yeah, it's all MIDI. That's right. So it's all computer, and now it's been, but it's been reorchestrated and now play it, and you have choirs singing the Sephiroth theme. So like instead of having, I'm going to try and find some on my phone in a second. I'll play it, but yeah.
But like the thing is, like the really interesting thing about that is it's like some of those I listen to the symphony versions, and some of them I still prefer the MIDI because.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of when the composer created it, I'm guessing he had it with MIDI sounds in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So it sounds better. Yeah.
Well, so those are probably the first two. Do you have any others that you really, really like?
Like other ones that kind of I like StarCraft 1 and 2. Like a lot of Blizzard games, the opening music.
I was just gonna say you're starting like a Blizzard theme, my friend.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, like Diablo 2 and 3, I don't remember any of those musics. You know, I don't remember any of it. It's not memorable, but Diablo 1, it's just like it fit perfectly with the atmosphere. And it's such a simple tune. It's just like a chord being played, a couple of chords being strummed really slowly on like a lute kind of thing. Like,
that's right. Hang on, I'm gonna try.
I was gonna play them, but I thought we were gonna get copyright strikes, so I didn't get them.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should. But like, if you loyal listeners, you can look them up. I might even put some links to other videos if I can find them in the description this evening as well. So we'll definitely be putting stuff in the description section for you guys to have a look at. And again, comment if you like. We'd love to know what you're into. Yeah. So for me, I think the most memorable sort of MIDI tracks and sort of 8-bit soundtracks were Mario Brothers, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. Everyone knows that song.
And like how that's developed over the many years, it's just insane. Like it sounds so different from its original. And then of course anything from the Sonic series is always been a really cool part of my gaming experience. Like, as I say, I put hours upon hours into Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3, the backwards compatible game. And it, just the music was amazing. Like, it's just so good. And then World of Warcraft, Blizzard, the music for that, like everywhere you went, it just added. Yeah. Like I remember, so I first started as an Alliance character.
Yeah, me too.
A Night Elf.
Yeah.
And I started in Dionysus, and you start as a level 1 in this place. There's essentially a giant tree.
Yeah.
And that music, it was like this heavenly.
One, right?
Yeah. It was like heavenly vocal music. Like it was like there were elves in the trees singing and ran around. It was freaking amazing.
Do you remember the Goldshire Inn one?
Yes.
That one, like I can never forget that, just hanging out at Goldshire Inn. Like I was level 10 forever because I just kept getting distracted by all the players, man.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. I really want to play it because it's amazing.
We can play it, the classic.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on and find it.
2 weeks.
No, you're a bad influence. No. Get in trouble.
Just 2 weeks.
No, stop it. You and I will never stop. It'll be bad. It'll be so bad. We'll never, ever leave. Oh my God. Oh, there it is, the tap of music.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you were just saying,
hey, you used that song for...
I did.
Yeah, that's a great D&D song. I used it once when I did it with some kids.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really, really, really cool. Really cool piece of music. I wonder if I can find...
You should stop it now, man. You're going to get copyright struck.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they're awesome. Which then made me think about a couple of days later, like the video game soundtrack. So not so much composed pieces of music, but like video games that have used
like original music, like by artists.
Like pop artists and stuff to
Yeah.
do it. And what are your thoughts on that?
Not many really do it. I think they go for the original, original compositions. But you have your what's it called, music games. The music games, it fits. It's such a natural fit. Like
like Dance Dance, the higher and rock bands. Yeah. And I think, where I think it started? I actually think it started with like extreme sports games. Because I remember like Tony Hawk, we were talking last week about SSX3. Like that was all remixed and remastered original tunes.
Yeah.
And like then I was thinking about Tony Hawk. So I played pretty much every Tony Hawk's game ever.
Yeah.
And they were all, introduced me to heaps of music, like Goldfinger, for instance, and Superman. I don't know if anyone's up. I'll try and put a link into the description for that as well.
Yeah.
But just I don't know. What do you think though? What video games versus video game soundtracks versus originals? I mean, what do you like more?
I mean, it depends on the genre, I guess. Originals usually better if they do it right because they've created it according to the game, kind of like the story. If it's a single player game or the feel of the gameplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like movies. If you think about movies, like generally you get better songs that fits the scene when you have original compositions because the composer would have the scene in front of them and they're going to match it. Whereas if you're using pre-created songs, you kind of got to look for a song that matches it. But
yeah.
So it's
exactly right. Yeah, it is. And so I guess it sort of depends on it. I mean, it does fit well into a sports game, the video game soundtrack. I can't imagine.
Yeah, because it's just in the menus and stuff. Like I remember the early FIFA games when they started using like Song 2 and Right Here, Right Now and stuff. I was like, wow, these songs are awesome. That's how I love those songs.
Exactly, and it does. It sort of opens your world. It's another avenue into the world of music, which is really cool. Where I guess like the original video game soundtrack, for me, it's sort of like, it probably sounds really slack to say it, but to any budding composers out there who are in a viewership or a listenership or, you've come to the podcast 3 years late, don't be offended by what I'm saying, but it's one of the major avenues for composers these days because, orchestral music is awesome, but people don't really write new stuff that people know. You've got to be part of a very sort of niche group that really like orchestral music.
Yeah.
But a way to get kids into orchestral music, video game music. Seriously.
Yeah. Sometimes we have like classical music. If I knew that you could play those songs on classical instruments when I was little, I would have practiced so much harder.
Yeah, exactly. So would have I. I would have really, really gotten into my instrument. Like I play guitar and bass, and I'm a singer, and I have sung a lot of this kind of cool choral stuff. But if I'd known about it, I would have been trying to get into that. But yes. So yes, I guess where it's due, it should be played. I love Dance Dance. The Dance Dance games are great, and I
could never get myself to play Dance Dance.
Well, I had an original Wii, you see, and so I had the Wii remote.
Was it on the original Wii?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
There was a Wii version. Maybe it wasn't Dance Dance, maybe it was something else. But
Just Dance, maybe?
Just Dance, that's it. Yeah, Dance. But Guitar Hero, oh my God. Although nothing to do with actually playing guitar, it was an amazing game with some amazing soundtracks, man. Some of the songs along with. Oh my God.
I found out so many new, a lot of them are old, but I found out so many new songs for me through that game. Just playing the game. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know these songs existed, and then I looked them up.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like the video game soundtrack. So recently downloaded Steep on my PlayStation, and like I was hoping for this sort of SSX3 kind of soundtrack, and I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
Like every time, the soundtrack they picked just matches really well with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I guess it is different because, like, those kind of games, they're sort of under your control. You do it as you want, so you couldn't really put a score to it.
Yeah.
Where with things like Mario and Warcraft and I'm trying to think, and Final Fantasy, those games were designed for you to play their story and be part of that story. So it does fit much better. Yeah. Well, thank you for another great evening, my friend.
Thank you. No worries.
It's been a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Please keep hitting that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section and subscribe if you wish. We did get one extra subscriber this week, so thank you to that person.
Yes,
I wish I could get a name and a list. We'll see if we can get a list of those subscribers. I don't think it works like that though. We'll see what we can get.
No, I think on the creator mode you can see you'll say like so subscribe, yeah.
Nudge does most of the creation. I just talk.
Yeah, I press buttons.
Yeah, he presses buttons, I talk. But I do hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below, let us know. We'll put some things in the description for you this week to have a listen to yourself, so that you can go and fall down, take the red pill and fall down a rabbit hole and have a listen to some really funky music at the same time.
Yeah, get in trouble with your boss.
That's it.
Whoever.
Listen to the World of Warcraft soundtrack, and unlike me, fall into a hole of playing World of Warcraft. All right. Well, this is Nimos signing off, and good evening to you all. And Nudge.
Stay safe and don't do anything I wouldn't do, I guess. Which is a lot of things. So
that's right. Remember, he is a demon, ladies and gents. So just stay safe. Yeah. Don't do what Nudge would do, because he's going to end up doing something diabolical.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Like,
all right.
Put pineapple on my next pizza. Yeah.
With that note, ladies and gents, good evening. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.